Hey there, Leo Sun, Leo Moon, Leo Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy of the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. I did channel some information for you for this week, so I will get to that in a moment. First, I'd like to thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments, for helping me to grow my channel, for helping me to reach more people. I feel really called to do that. And so if you are a subscriber, hit the notification bell, please, so you can be notified when I upload videos, if I go live. And apparently there's an option, and so you should, if you would like to be notified every time, hit the select all, although I have to tell you, with Mercury retrograde, it didn't happen this week. Like, I went live and people that had subscribed didn't get it, so who knows. But it's worth a shot. Okay, so your channeled information for this week was you were sitting at a fire out in the woods. The fire was roaring. It was big. It was warm. It was very dark out. You were contemplating, staring into the fire. It was damp and it was cold. Your back was damp and cold. And I remember thinking that you couldn't see the stars because the fire was so big. And so I wonder what you're missing. And when I mean by what are you missing, I mean that it felt like the stars were spirit. And so if you're staring at what's blazing in front of you, if you're contemplating and trying to figure something out, but you're not inviting spirit in, that you're missing some of the help. You're missing some of the information. And so I want to encourage you to spend a little time in meditation this week. Scorpio Sun time, and then we've got Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio. It is that deep dive. It is going beneath. It is the digging deep, and contemplation is a big thing. But inviting spirit into the process makes it a little easier. So we have a lot of things happening this week. We have that full moon in Taurus that's happening on the 12th, but on the 11th we have the 11/11 gateway. And when I was contemplating on the gateway, what I saw was like this doorway, this old stone doorway with the lintel, stone, really just a doorway. But when you walk through it, you walk like just a few feet, and then there is like that concrete wall, gray wall, and the hallway goes down that way. So it's like this blind entrance turn, and you don't know where you're going. And I feel like that has a lot to do with what's going on this week. I think that we're going to have to go through some more of the astrological things that are happening. There's a lot of things happening over the next couple of months. And so I think that it's like a step forward in the ascension process. You have to choose to go through the doorway, but I think there's more deep diving. There's more releasing. It's like you can't carry everything through the doorway because it's hard turn. You can't get everything to go around if you're hauling a bunch of baggage. So some things are going to have to be left behind, which is what that full moon in Taurus is all about. That full moon in Taurus is about taking your dreams out of the ethers and bringing them down and creating a reality with them. And for you, this is full moon's happening in your 10th house of career. So maybe some adjustments need to be made. Maybe there's some stuff that you wanted that you're going to have to let something go in order to move things forward. But it feels bigger than just that. This feels like for everybody, this is about major life changes. The career being part of it, but it's major spiritual life changes. Okay. All right. So Taurus is on the moon in Taurus on Monday is in conjunction with the moon in Uranus in Taurus. So October 23rd of last year, that also happened. So kind of think about what was going on then and how things kind of shook out from that. It's kind of that energy, which was a step in the cycle of May of 2018 when you planted the seeds of intention that are coming to fruition with this full moon. And so it's kind of the whole process of it. So what were you thinking about? What were you doing? What actions were you taking at that time? It's kind of that cycle ending. Letting something go, planting the seeds of intention to allow something new to start, right? So the overall energy, in case I didn't mention it, those stars were spirit wanting to be in communication with you. So for overall energy, I didn't use the tarot this week. I went with the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms because it feels like this deep diving necessary thing. And you have the Hawk Prince. And the Hawk Prince says spirit communication and paying attention. So what are you missing because you're so focused on the fires in front of you that you're not connecting with spirit? And then we have the cosmos, creativity and vastness. If you're staring at the fire right in front of you, you're missing how big and vast there is, the unlimited potential. And then we have the Queen of the Light, illumination, enlightenment, and celebration. Spirit really wants to talk to you. Try to tune in this week if you can. All right. So, a little bit of cards on this Taurus moon. I do want to say that there's just because of the way some of the planets are lined up, we got Venus and pretty good connection there with Sagittarius over there, with Jupiter and Sagittarius, and Taurus being all about money. Anyways, the opportunity to overspend is here, and also the opportunity to hang on tightly to your resources and not release them. So trying to find that balance might be part of the equation this week. It is the Beaver or the Frost full moon. It is about creation. It is about being willing to dive deep into your emotional waters to be able to create something in the dark spaces of the winter. What I saw when I was thinking about this full moon was I saw a beaver diving into the water and coming up in their little home that they have in the middle of their, they have their dam, and then they dam up the water, and then out in the middle of the deeper part of the lake that's created from the dam along the river, they build like a little stick hut. You can see it, but in order to get into it, they have to come in through the deep, dark, icy, cold water to get up into the place where it's warm, which kind of resembles like a womb, right? An opportunity to create, nurtured and safe and protected. So, you have the Ghost Dance, the Council, and the Beloved. Honestly, I've never seen any of these cards. I've had this deck for a long time. I've never drawn any of these cards. I generally read from the book for these right now anyway, because I really feel like Spirit wants to be heard, and these were channeled messages from Spirit. So we'll do that anyway, but I would have to because I haven't ever seen these. So the Beloved. 2, 3, 4. Oh, here we go. The Beloved is recognition of Spirit in another and moving towards Spirit through another. It is when the divine appears to us in the form of our child, our partner, our friend, and we experience being in love. As we grow, we start to recognize the Beloved in everyone, not confusing their personality with their divine nature. So the Beloved is that divine spark of God that is in everyone. And it is generally when we fall in love with our child when we see them the first time, or our partner, that we get a sense of that divine spark. But that divine spark is in everyone. And so even if there's someone that you don't have a highly elevated relationship with, there's still a divine spark of God And they're either here to teach you a lesson, or they're deep into their own lessons and they're just maybe a little difficult at the time. The Council. The Council are luminous beings who hold the collective wisdom of humanity. They are the ones before whom you will do your life review when you cross into the world of spirit. Okay, you will do it with the Council, but they're not judging you. They're asking the questions and helping you through the review process, because the only entity judging you is going to be you. And so if you find that you need special help and guidance based on how you judge yourself, the Council is there to guide you, to nurture you, to help you, to heal, to prepare you for your next incarnation. And so that's what they do. They're not there to judge you. You are your own judge. All right, go back to the book. A life review is when we place our good and our bad deeds on a divine scale and attempt to explain why we did not love or forgive or dare as greatly as we might have. And again, we're explaining that to ourselves, okay? Know that their wisdom is available to you at all times when you live in a state of yes, in unconditional relationship with life. They remind you of your place around a sacred fire. What? They remind you of your place around a sacred fire, which has been reserved for you since the beginning of time. You will claim it when you own your own inner wisdom. Oh my gosh, you were sitting around the sacred fire. Okay, I just got this high pitch in my right ear, which is generally when angels are talking. Ooh, wow. Nice. And the ghost dancer. The ghost dancer of the American Plains Indians unite the spirits of the living with those of your ancestors to bring peace to the world. When the ancestors are honored, they bring harmony to us. When we hold them responsible for all that is wrong with us today, they haunt us. Honor the spirit of the ancestors to receive their lessons and gifts. This includes honoring your own past lives. So, the veil is super thin right now. The ancestors keep showing up in so many ways throughout the readings, throughout some other stuff that I've been doing. And so the ancestors really want to talk to you. And so you can invite them into your dream world before you go to sleep at night. Say, I am open to receiving messages from my ancestors that are for the best and the highest good of all. I ask that Saint Michael protect me from any negative energies. And then keep a dream journal. When you wake up, what do you remember? A smell, a feeling, a sound, a snippet of color, an actual part of the conversation. When your ancestors are talking to you in a dream, like there can be, you could get it through like a storyline, but sometimes they actually appear. It's a very lucid dream. And by lucid, I mean everything seems brighter and stronger and vivid. You'll know when you have one. This full moon is about eliminating something and letting it go, but then allowing yourself to be creative and create something of beauty out of all the chaos with that, especially with Uranus there in Taurus. Stirring things up, believe that the impossible is possible. The vastness of the universe, your ability to tap into all of this energy and guidance to help you along your path. On Wednesday morning at 3:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon moves into Gemini. It's a very public kind of feeling. There's like this, your reputation is kind of on, people are noticing. It is okay to stand up and speak up for yourself, but remember that Mercury is in retrograde, meaning that you may not be heard the way you think you are, and so choosing your words carefully, written or oral, to not create a negative, like a boastful sound, right? And understand that this is about self-reflecting, The energy that you put out into the universe is reflected back to you. If you put out positive energy comes back. If you put out negative, negative comes back. If you like something about someone, it's probably something you like about yourself, and the other is true too. If you dislike something, take a time and a moment to look at yourself and say, wow, do I do that too? Because usually when we notice it, it's reflecting back to us. Also use this as a time for contemplation about what actually brings you the joy and the pleasure in life. Asking your spirit guides to help you and guide you, you have to ask. You have to invite in your ancestors and your guides because you have free will. And they may stand there wanting to talk to you, and they're probably whispering in your ear. But for them to be able to go in and move other pieces around on the chessboard, they need your permission. Wow. All right. I don't know what Leos I'm in contact with here, but this is so powerful. Now I am, okay, so first off, you need to release any negative feelings you have about anything that's happened with your parents or that you did as a parent. Let that baggage go. Don't drag that through the doorway with you. Allow yourself to release that. This is with any kind of authority figure, but really this feels more like root chakra, like when you were a small child, the way you were spoken to, the way you were treated that made you feel less than, not worthy, not valuable. Leo, you came here to exude self-confidence. You came here to shine your light to teach others how to do that for themselves. And you are a light worker. And see how our solar plexus is all lit up, and you rule the solar plexus area. It says you are a light worker who has come to earth to teach about love, to teach about self-love, to teach how to love, to teach unconditional love. Your ability to love yourself unconditionally translates into your ability to love others unconditionally as well. And then it's like dropping that pebble into the pond. As it spreads out, they learn how, and this raises the overall vibration of the earth. You are the sun, right? You're represented by the sun in the tarot. Well, the strength card, but the sun, it's the sun is your ruling planet. It is that light. And so that spark of light, that unconditional love that you have felt for someone along the way, the beloved, the one that sparked that knowledge into you, that reminder that you came from the divine spark of God and that you're here to love yourself and others unconditionally. And the council stands by ready to help you and guide you through this process. You can do this. Feels like a big responsibility, and yet when you get into the flow, it's not. It's just love. When you decide to leave behind the anger, the resentment, the hurt, the darkness, and step into the light and flow with the light and the unconditional love, the divine love. If you can picture yourself on a boat, in a sea, in a river, like a river, flowing river of white, divine light. Just picture yourself riding along and feeling the warmth and the love. Because that's what I see. Moon's going to move into Cancer on Friday morning at 11:15 a.m. And this is about self-nurturing. This is about being, dealing with our parents. This is about, wow, that's craziness what just came out. This is about finding the balance and committing to ourselves and finding the beauty in ourselves and in others. And understanding that what we cut out of our life allows us to grow back something new. And we're resilient and we can continue to grow, but we have to sometimes cut out the toxic negative stuff that doesn't work. St. Michael says he will come and help you cut the cords of negative energy. Just ask. Look, you're on a boat in a river. See the white light from the divine source coming there? Stars at night. The guardian. You're being guided and protected along this journey. You may not feel it. You might not recognize it. Allow yourself to visualize it and see it for what it is. This is healing, beautiful energy. Healing and beautiful. My heart chakra is so lit up, and it feels like it's expanding up into my throat and down into my solar plexus, and I feel this warmth, this big glow. Because you are a light worker. And this is what you're here to do. Okay. These are postcards from Spirit. They're a little lengthy. I'm going to read them all. I had so many with Taurus that I didn't want to, and then I felt like I had to, so I had to do a second video. I'm like, just do it now. So 2 separate videos. So, dearest you have something exciting. We have something exciting to share with you. You are a manifesting master, and you don't even know it. There will always be enough of everything that you need in life. Money, opportunities, love, kindness. So whatever you're asking guidance about, have faith and be open to the many ways in which you will experience prosperity. Spirit is the source of your supply. The universe is always reflecting back to you what you believe. We talked about that, right? So whenever you fall into insecurity, you will be shown an illusion as if your fears were real. What you reflect out into the world comes back to you. So if you exude that energy of self-confidence and unconditional love, that is what you will receive back. But the truth is that the universe is abundant. You are and always have been enough, and the abundance is your natural state. If you can imagine something consistently as the truth, you can and will create it. You are on the right path now. Keep believing, and then the seeing happens. Loving you more and more every day. Dearest you, there are times when loss is a part of life. Sometimes loss is welcome, like when you leave a situation and that is not in alignment with your highest good. Sometimes loss is sudden and painful, like when a loved one crosses over to our dimension. Regardless of the nature of the loss and your control over it, your experience is asking to be acknowledged. Tears are necessary, as is grief. When you repress the natural expression of loss and try to move on too quickly, the unprocessed pain haunts you in destructive ways. We don't want that for you. Instead, let your heart break wide open, feel the loss, and integrate it. See the beauty that was, the lessons learned, and know that it's time to let go of what is past. Ever more of you remains. Working through the grieving process is so important. But at some point, the healing needs to be allowed to happen. And that's Scorpio. It's the death and the rebirth. Allowing for the time to let the integration would be like the leaves that fall from the trees, and as they break down and then the nutrients integrate into the soil, but then they promote the nutrition that the soil needs to grow the tree bigger and stronger and have more leaves. So allow for the integration, and then allow the healing to happen, and allow yourself to move forward. It gets better, we promise. Your heart expands with more compassion for the world than ever before. Love heals all. This is love of self. This is love from Spirit, and this is allowing other people to love you. We are loving you, sending you love always and forever. That felt really important. All right. Dearest you, sometimes you just feel like no one understands you. You're not heard, or even that you don't count. This, my dear, is a terrible illusion. So that's 2 times I've told you that you have an illusion, right? And so what we think about, we create. It's all an illusion. The good's an illusion too, I hate to tell you. So create the happy illusions. That's what I say. Be happy. This, my dear, is a terrible illusion. And although your feelings tell you that abundance is real, well, abandonment is real. Well, we who love you know better. You are never alone. And even when rejection happens, you are ultimately being protected, so better things can replace what wouldn't have worked in the first place. Everyone on this side of the veil is watching over you and rooting for you. Ultimate success. Life loves you. We love you. And you are a unique spark of the divine and always connected to the light and to the source. You are always in our care. Trust and keep the faith. Love you always and forever. We are manifestors. We co-create with spirit. And so I say create the good stuff, right? All right. I will see you next time, Leo. Take care of yourselves, okay? And have a great week.